Jamal Williams, good low post threat. Brockman is a load in the middle. Roy and Detman are the guards. Detman the point. And of course you have their coach, Lorenzo Romar, an assistant 4 years at UCLA under national champion coach Jim Herrick. And they won the title in '95 with Romar on that sideline. Well, the UCLA 5 that he will see, we told you about Imba Mute, who is a fine rebounder, but with the injury to Josh Shipman, Michael Roll will get the start. Ryan Wright also starts at center, and that terrific backcourt of Aflalo and Farmar. Well, this guy is one of the leading candidates, not only for Coach of the Year in the conference, but certainly for Coach of the Year in college basketball for what he has done with an injured team. But there's a long way to go, and this team is losing players, it seems like, every single game. How about your Pontiac keys to the game?
Well, for Washington, their perimeter defense has got to be on point. Look for them to trap the basketball. They've also got to cut down their turnovers, take care of the basketball. UCLA, what's their collective psyche going to be like now that they've got so many guys injured? And then their half-court D. And remember, the defensive possession doesn't end until you get the defensive rebound. That's the big key. And the final point, Steve. Michael Roll, I think, is a big X factor. We saw Gabe Pruitt the other night get free time and time again for open looks from long range. They leave Michael Roll open like that, he's going to burn him.
Well, he is an excellent outside shooter. Certainly showed that at Alicia Miguel High School in Orange County. Here is Detman on the drive, getting it up and getting it in. Justin Detman, an outstanding freshman point guard from Carbondale, Illinois. And Jones knocks it out of bounds. He immediately chased down Aflalo, and that will be the matchup that is of interest. 6'6" Jones is a terrific defender against Aaron Aflalo, a great offensive player, averaging close to 19 per game.
Yeah, he's got his work cut out for him. Aflalo has been spectacular in conference play, and the Bruins run a lot of screens, so Bobby Jones is going to have to really work to get those screens. They're going to have to switch at times.
There's Aflalo looking low to Ryan Wright. Now he drives and kicks it off, and we have a whistle and a foul called against Aflalo, it seems. And it will go against Aaron.
Aaron Aflalo out of control, going baseline. And one area that Lorenzo Romar wanted to see happen is Jamal Williams come in and make himself a factor defensively. There you see Jamal Williams with a nice job, stepping in, taking the offensive foul, showing that he is in the game and he's focused on the defensive end.
Because of all the injuries, UCLA cannot afford to have any player get in foul trouble. And Brockman finds it going way too easy to get to the hoop, and it is a 4-0 Washington lead.
That's what they can't afford to do. UCLA has allowed these forays to the basket with no defensive pressure whatsoever. First it was Detman, the freshman, and then Brockman, the freshman. What are these freshmen trying to do?
Well, back-to-back turnovers by the Bruins early.
John Brockman, don't you know this Paulie Pavilion? You're not supposed to do this on your first possession with the basketball in your hand. Takes it strong. There's not a shot blocker in sight, but you cannot allow Brockman to get there. You got to play off him, make him shoot some jump shots.
There's Detman on the alley-oop. It hits the underside of the iron, so Roy can't catch it and throw it down. UCLA with a break, and Ryan Wright throws it down because Washington's transition defense was not that good.
You know who made that happen? Aaron Aflalo did a great job running the floor.
Boy, a quick timeout, and it's called a short timeout by the Washington Huskies.
Watch Aaron Aflalo on the right side of the court after the ball hits the rim. Here's Aaron Aflalo sprinting out. He's going to draw Brockman to him, which is going to open up the middle and allow Ryan Wright to do a great job just getting down, outrunning the coverage, and getting the easy dunk inside. But that kind of opening is caused by Aaron Aflalo sprinting to his spot each and every time.
And that man in the middle, Ben Howland, has to do it without another top player. Lorenzo Mata out 6 to 8 weeks because he broke his tibia on this violent collision in their last game against Washington State with Jordan Farmar.
And they're fortunate they didn't lose two guys, because Farmar, I mean, that was, as you mentioned, that was a violent collision. Farmar could have went down, but just a tough break, no pun intended, but for Lorenzo Romar, because he has been playing so well the last 3 or 4 games since Pac-10 season started.
And it's just not the numbers, the 5 points, 5 rebounds per game, but it's his defensive presence, his setting screens, his teamwork. He's so unselfish.
Diving on the floor, man, he was chasing down that loose ball just recklessly at that point in the game. That's been the kind of player that he has shown for UCLA.
Brockman swings it left, Detman looking for Roy, and Roy is there against Aflalo and taking it right into the teeth of 2 men, and he throws it in over Mbumate. Here is Michael Roll. He's a very good shooter. Boy, that Roy is so tough in the low block. USC put a smaller player on, and he was able to exploit him on that low block as well.
Yeah, Ryan Francis is seeing Brandon Roy in his dreams, but UCLA will double team Brandon Roy once he gets near the key.
Roll misses his first shot of the game. He will be big, the X-Factor, Marcus Johnson calls him, because he will get his shots.
Only if he knocks him down now.
Well, he'll be open. Williams, jump hook, no. And there is Luke Richard Mbaamute.
If he's not hitting that shot, he'll be the Z factor because he'll be sleeping on the bench.
They don't have too many over there to replace him, though.
But we'll watch Brandon Roy. They do a good job bringing him from weak to strong. And there's the double team I talked about. But he just made a tough play over Ryan Wright, a little fadeaway against defensive duress inside. But he's got those types of skills to create his own shot out of nothing.
Jones stays on Aflalo as it's Farmar and Aflalo backcourt with Roll, with Richard and Ryan Wright, and a bad pass knocked free. Brockman has it. They've got Jones along left side. Ooh, good defense by Michael Roll, and the ball goes out of bounds to UCLA. A turnover for Bobby. Even though he had a terrific game at USC with 22 points, he also turned it over 7 times.
Brandon Roy had 4 turnovers himself in that game. That's why I talked about taking care of the ball is one of our keys. But an interesting little bit of matching up here by Lorenzo Romar. He's got Justin Dentman on Mike Roll. He's got Brandon Roy defending Jordan Farmar, respecting that ball screen. Roy's a lot bigger guy, a lot tougher guy to get around for Jordan Farmar.
Farmar has not been shooting well in conference play. As Marcus told you, just 9 points and a little over 30% shooting from the floor. He has played with 2 sprained ankles this year.
The defensive idea, if you're Brandon Roy, give Jordan Farmar a little bit of a cushion when he pulls for that jumper like that last possession. Roy is long enough, athletic enough to bother that shot.
Detman ran into his man and charges, and that'll be a turnover for Washington to a third of the game. Remember, they had 28 in a victory at USC.
I think that's why Alfred Aboya was put on the floor just to get in there and plug up the middle. 2 easy shots for Washington to start this game. Ben Holland had seen enough.
Alfred Aboya in for Ryan Wright. Aflalo. He hits. Aaron Aflalo averaging 19 points per game, hitting his first 3. And here's Washington. We are at Pauley Pavilion, where Aaron Aflalo has gone back-to-back with 3-pointers, and the Bruins have their first lead of the game. You know, watch UCLA number 11, Washington number 13, Marcus. I'm Steve Biziak along with Marcus Johnson. Several other regions have joined us.
Washington sends 5 players to the offensive glass. The Bruins will look for the opportunities to get out and run. They got Ryan Wright on a dunk. They got Aaron Aflalo on a wide-open jump shot. The best offensive rebounding team in the Pac-10, the Washington Huskies, about 15 a game.
Detman misses. Roll battling for it. Ahead, Farmer gets it to Aflalo. He's working against Jamal Williams, and that might be a travel. It is. Fourth turnover for Ben Howard. Aflalo does not agree, but it's UCLA by 2 over Washington at the 15:48 mark. We are at Pauley Pavilion, where this is game number 119 between UCLA and Washington. The Bruins have won 87 meetings. They have lost 31, but at Pauley Pavilion, Lorenzo Romar has seen some pain. Now, Washington has 19 straight road losses at Pauley Pavilion. Their last win, January 29th, 1987. They are 2-40 all time in this building. And last year, Romar's team had a 21-point first-half lead and lost the game.
Dejon Thompson, Brian Morrison shot him out in 1987. I was like 12 years old around that time. That's amazing.
12?
In my dreams. Now this guy you got to know your scouting report if you're Alfred Aboya. This guy, Mike Jensen, doesn't look like a shooter with the little black bandage, the protective deal he's wearing on that left shoulder, but he can get out there and stroke the 3-pointer with the best of them.
And he hits the first, and here they go. Alley-oop. Aboya comes up with a loose basketball, and it goes out of bounds. Let's see who has it. It'll remain with the Bruins.
Watch Alfred Aboya kind of get lost defensively. helping out on Brandon Roy. I mean, you've got to close out a lot quicker than that, because you give Jensen that kind of time, that kind of room, he's going to bury that shot.
Romar sends in another good three-shooter and good defender in Joel Smith.
I like what Lorenzo Romar has done in terms of matchups. Again, you got Justin Dittman on the ball on Mike Roll, not allowing him any space to breathe.
Aflalo, this time he's short, picking it off as a boy, and he knocks it home. And that is the key. Kerry Keating, assistant coach for UCLA, he felt number one was rebounding. If they can beat them on the boards, they can beat Washington, because Washington feeds so much, getting rebounds, getting out of the break. Well, how deep is Jamal Williams? And he doesn't go that far from the basket that often, but knocks this one down. Huskies back in front by one.
That's one of those times when you follow a scouting report and you get hurt, because you want to give Jamal Williams that shot, that 17, 18-foot shot. He does a nice job knocking it down.
Michael Roll.
On a roll.
That's his first. He had a career-high 10 in their victory over Washington State in 32 minutes with no turnovers, Marcus.
Erupted for a big 10 points. Did a nice job on Kyle Weaver in that game. Played 32 minutes. And he's the kind of kid on the floor, he's not going to hurt you when he's knocking out that long-range jump shot. He's really going to cause problems for your defensively, because he stretches you out. And once Brandon Roy approaches the key, he will get double-teamed.
Roy misses. Joel Smith, a good rebound, and he puts it back in.
And once again, you see 5 Huskies kind of around that offensive glass. Justin Denton, the lone back right inside the free throw line, lone man back inside the free throw line as a protector.
Aflalo. Well, they're knocking down their outside shots early, and UCLA goes up by 3. Aflalo with 9 points. Here's Williams short, getting that rebound there. Alfred Aboya, and then he loses it out of bounds, and Ben Howland pointing to his head like saying, hey, let's think after getting that board, and looking for the outlet. But Aaron Aflalo with 9 points early in this first half, and UCLA has a 3-point lead over the Huskies.
Some people would say lucky bounce. Aaron Aflalo would say shooter's touch, and he's put in so much work during the offseason. He's a big fan of Kobe Bryant. You got the Kobe Bryant workout tape. You see a lot of similar movements in their bodies when Aaron is isolated against a lone defender.
It seemed like last year he was finding where his game was, and this year he's discovered it. Darren Collison off the bench misses the 3, and there's Ryan Hollins on the floor for the first time in weeks.
And Hollins been frustrated with his inability to get on the floor, have the groin pull, sustained when he stepped on the ball in warm-ups. How freaky is that?
And UCLA out rebounding Washington, but here's an illegal screen by Ryan. There's the 7-footer from Pasadena. He is the lone senior available. Well, Michael Fay might get some minutes as well.
Michael Fay is supposed to get some time. He's out there suited up and warming up, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him. But UCLA gets a call for an illegal screen. What would a UCLA game do without the illegal screens? But I don't think they're overly concerned with that. They want their guys to be aggressive setting those picks. Rarely does it hurt them in the last 5 minutes of close ball game. And the officials, they don't want to call that play each and every time. They'll start out calling it. They'll get a little bit more relaxed calling that as the game progresses.
Gasser chases it down, gets it to Appleby, and here's Joel Smith missing the 3. Aflalo wants to run. They've got numbers 3 on 2, and the finish by Janelle Rubin. Boy, Ben Howland's using everybody.
And Aflalo doing a great job running the fast break. That no-look pass caught the defenders totally by surprise. Good to see the senior Janelle Rubin get in and get himself on the boards early.
Washington with Brockman back in with Brandon Roy, Appleby, Smith, and Hans Gasser. Another rebound by UCLA, and we have a whistle and a foul called against Washington, I believe. Darren Collison, the smallest guy on the floor, grabbed the board.
Brooks did a nice job defensively on Brandon Roy, but here's that no-look pass from Aaron Aflalo. When he passed half court, he knew what his options were. The smaller guy, Darren Collison, on my right. Do I give it to him to take to the hole, even though Collison is a pretty good finisher, or do I give it to Janelle Rubin? And Rubin rewards him by finishing off the play.
Gasser picks up his first foul of the game.
Huskies in a 2-3 zone, again with a big defender, Brandon Roy, at 6 feet 6 inches, kind of the point man at the top of the key.
They have 3 shooters on the floor in Collison, Rubin, and Aflalo, but they're trying to decode this zone defense and having a tough time with it. Collison's got 10 seconds. Back to Aflalo being chased by Appleby. Tough shot, but Aboya grabs the offensive rebound, so they'll get a new 35. Hollins gets it inside, and a whistle and a foul call. Bruins really determined to keep the tempo in their favor and slow it down, like Washington State did in their upset of Washington 1 week ago. Bruin fans have something to cheer about early in this game, and coming up next for most of our regions, Pac-10 Hoops continues on FSN when number 24 Arizona takes on the Oregon Ducks. At MacCourt, coverage begins right after our game. For most of you, check your local listings. Arizona stunned by OSU in their last game. Oregon State winning by 10, even though Arizona rallied from 20 back to tie the game.
Yeah, and Oregon State getting great play out of Nick DeWitts in that game, and also a sophomore, Marcel Jones, out of Mater Dei here in Southern California, Orange County. Had a couple of big hoops down the stretch to secure the deal. So Jay John's team starting to pick up their level of play.
It's UCLA basketball. Ryan Wright back in the game with Roll and Collison. Just in case they go zone, they've got Roll back in.
Lorenzo Romar stays zone, stays 2-3. Again, Brandon Roy, the bigger defender at the top of that thing, makes it a tougher obstacle for Jordan Farmar to try and penetrate the gaps against.
Did you see Farmar? He was screaming at Aboya. He was at the low post rather than the high post, and that's where he wanted him. Here's Roll for 3. The freshman, Michael Roll, hitting 2 big baskets early in this, and UCLA is up 8.
And that's why Jordan Farmar was directing traffic. He wanted to draw the defensive attention inside so he could make that extra pass to Michael Roll outside.
Washington, meantime, has missed their last 4 shots. Gasser, he hits outside, so they've got their shooters out there, and Appleby, Gasser, Roy, Jones, and Jensen.
And you see where he put the shooter on the same side as Brandon Roy because he knew the double from the big was coming. He knew Gasser, Lorenzo Romar did, would get himself a pretty decent look at the basket. And you keep Gasser, you keep Jensen on the same side as Brandon Roy when he posts up.
Roy trying to take Farmer. They double every time he gets the ball. Slapping it away. Here's Brandon. He's been sensational from 3 range in Pac-10 play, averaging 30 points per game and over 70% from 3-point range. Well, the Huskies turn it over, and UCLA will have it at the halfway mark of the first half.
And Bobby Jones was upset at that call. Did a nice job grabbing the rebound. Looked like there was some contact inside. Maybe from behind, and maybe Aboya knocked him off. But you see Aboya trying to help the official. I didn't touch him. He fell on his own.
Well, Ben Howland has changed and moved Collison to the point and Farmar to the 2 guard.
We love the Bruins defense against Brandon Roy here early. They're doing a nice job so far attacking this zone.
They will work the shot clock down. Here's Farmar taking a look. Down low he goes, and Luke Richard, Prince of Cameroon, comes through with a bucket inside, and the Bruins back on front by 8.
No excuse for allowing that pass over the top against your 2-3 zone. No ball pressure against Jordan Farmar. The backside help against Luke Richard inside there. He's got Gasser right there on his hip. You see the ball. That's where Brandon Roy is put on the point of that zone to provide some ball pressure. Had his hands down, wasn't pressuring Jordan Farmar at all. Farmar just picked it apart.
You know, Farmar already has 5 assists in this game.
Yeah, they're just doing the other things. I talked about him just being a winner. He hasn't gotten his offensive game off in terms of scoring, but he sure is helping other guys get their games off.
UCLA also winning the rebounding battle, and that has been a bit of a surprise because Washington, the best rebounding team in the conference, plus 8.5.
There's your boy.
Roll has hit 3 3-pointers, and that ties his career best.
You know, we saw Gabe Pruitt get free time and time again, and he has a much better reputation as a scorer than Mike Roll so far early.
There's Jamal Williams at the other end of the floor. Farmar backing up on the dribble.
Nice.
Oh, what a pass inside. That's the 6th assist
Dealing
by Farmar.
Dealing. Dropping down like it's weight. Jordan Farmar looked like he got stuck and no backflow defensively for the Huskies. You got to protect the basket. if you're the Washington Huskies, they've allowed that basket area with the lob over the top to Luke Mbamute, and then that time to Ryan Wright. But just a beautiful job, little sleight of hand by Jordan Farmar, like a magician. Now you see me, now you don't. Gets in there, want to see me pull a rabbit out my hat? Hey, ooh, there you go. Ooh, hey, yeah. and then just bad defense by Washington. Know your scouting report. This guy, if you're Mike Jensen, he shoots like you do. So you got to kind of hedge toward him, be ready to close out a lot quicker.
And fans, you've got to see the body English by Marcus Johnson. We should have a squeeze box where they just have you shot, picture in picture. With Marcus Johnson doing the Jordan Farmar.
Get into it.
We need a Marcus cam.
I enjoy a well-placed assist from a point guard to a big guy for a dunk.
Jamal Williams, he knocked his man down, and we have a whistle. And a foul will be called against Washington, an offensive foul against Jamal Williams, an awfully important low post threat.
Yeah, man, I'm just really, I'm becoming redundant because I say this every time I see the Bruins, but these young big guys, they have tremendous upside. They're playing as solid as you can play for the most part defensively in this game. Ryan Wright made some mistakes early on. He got pulled, but since that time, he's come in and done the limit things that are asked of him. Plug up the holes, give up your body, rebound the basketball.
Here's Farmar. They had made 6 of their last 10 3-pointers, and now a miss by Jordan.
You got to be aware of him. He's an outstanding long-range shooter.
He's not made a 3 in his last 2 games. That's the first time that has happened this year.
Lorenzo puts him on the floor. Ryan Appleby, because of his ability to stretch out that defense because of the double team.
Well, Jordan Farmar, one of the top point guards in the Pac-10 with his 6th assist of the game to Ryan Wright. And Wright slams it to a UCLA 11-point edge. UCLA with a 15-4 run last 6 minutes on Washington, spearheaded by point guard Jordan Farmar.
And just does a great job right there drawing the defense, finding his shooter. And then Brandon Roy, no ball pressure. He pays the price for it. Then watch the beauty of the ball fake. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Get the hands of Mike Jensen to commit up. A little shovel pass under. Ryan Wright, the uncontested dunk inside.
Farmar leading the league in assists. He already has 7 today, and he will take a seat resting that right ankle that he has sprained twice already this season, and the left once. Ryan Hollins right next to him as Ben Howland going with Collison at the point, Aboya, Wright, Aflalo, and Michael Roll.
As you can see, a lot of good coaches do. Lorenzo Romar goes from zone to man out of the timeout. But UCLA's playing deliberate anyway, so they're going to have a chance to kind of pull it back, recognize, get something good. Here comes the ball screen.
Romar said the other day that he was most concerned with their energy on defense. Their energy has been good, but sometimes their footwork on defense has not been that strong.
And there's one of those dreaded ball screens that Lorenzo Romar was so concerned about. High screen on Justin Dittman allows.
What a feed by Collison.
Great feed, but it allowed that ball screen allowed him to turn the corner, get Dittman on his hip, and then now you got guys rotating from the backside. But a beautiful job by him to thread it through the needle to get it inside to Alfred Aboya.
Aboya cannot finish the 3-point play, and Washington has it. UCLA is shooting a blistering 63% in the first half.
Huskies got to do a better job, the bigs, of hedging. They need to trap that ball screen. They've got to do something differently because it's hurting UCLA. It's hurting Washington, helping UCLA.
Well, I thought Washington's defense was very good against USC, 86-77. But Marcus, I wanted to ask you, USC was their first road game of the year. The Sports Arena is not a very loud facility just because it's a poor place to play. UCLA at Pauley Pavilion, this place is rocking. It is loud. How much of an impact has that had on Washington?
Why you dogging the Sports Arena? I played at the Sports Arena. I was with the Clippers at the Sports Arena, man. It's an electric building, man.
Come on, be honest.
Yeah, well, no, not really. Yeah, and you knew that. Oh, boy.
Make some room over there. I mean, they have so many injuries, and Aboya now limping off the floor. This is incredible. The injuries they've suffered this year. Let's see how Aboya got hurt.
Looked like, I mean, the ankle, knee, bone to knee contact, and can't see what Tony Spino there is. The knee. I think he must have got that knee banged. He's had that knee operated on
One in July, one in October. And they're checking the knee right now. But my goodness, how about this? Mata, Bozeman, Ship, Hollins, Fay, Aboya, Farmar, Wright, and Rubin have all missed time because of injuries or illnesses this year.
They've just had a full squad for practice. Ben Hollins and Gorge one time this season, one time only. But right there, Bobby Jones, nice job being cute with Aaron Aflalo. It wasn't a whole lot of contact, but Jones, a little bit of a flop. The officials bought it, called the foul on Aflalo.
So Luke Richard Mbamute is back in the game for UCLA with Aboya, his knee being checked. Appleby, great three-shooter, misses off the side of the iron. Aflalo rebounding, and UCLA out-rebounding Washington by 4 in this game. Roll down low, Ryan Wright, yes!
Nice, big guy. That was a beautiful feed by Michael Rowe. That's a hard pass to get through there. I was thinking, no, you don't want to do that, but then Ryan Wright showed some great hands to scoop that thing up and finish off the play. A little double pump action.
I'm really surprised because Washington usually is a brilliant first-half team. There's Roy, where they are really struggling from the floor, and they are the top offensive team in just about every category this year in the Pac-10. Collison up. No, it rolls off. A whistle. It's a violation against UCLA. Offensive goaltending.
Somebody hit the net while that ball was rolling around the rim. But how about that roll pass from up top? That's a one-handed bounce pass. You don't have time to put that other hand on it. You put that other hand on it, the left hand on it, it's not going to get through. And then that was Aaron Aflalo touching the basketball while it was on the rim. Good call by the official. But that's a beautiful play from Michael Rowe.
And the run for UCLA now 19-4 their last 8 minutes. But what does Washington have to do to get back in this game? Because this is not the same passionate defense we saw at the sports arena against USC.
Well, I mean, the 4 points is a big concern. The defense is lax. Make no mistake about it. But they've got to generate some offense. Now, Brandon Roy, he's seeing double teams. He's seeing a crowd every time he tries to penetrate, which means somebody else, Jamal Williams, or maybe too much to ask for John Brockman to become a scorer. There's that crowd. You see that crowd of guys, crowd of bigs. Ryan Hollins a little too aggressive. But anytime he tries to back you down near the key, he's going to see just a crowd of big bodies. Take a look at this right here. Good bounce pass inside. There's Mute. There's Ryan Hollins, Michael Rowe. Ryan Hollins, you know, you got him right where you want him. He's back off a little bit. Picked up his second foul.
Oh, is that a goaltend? No. They said no. Michael Reed. Outside official says it was still going up.
No, that was, I thought, a good block by Ryan Hollins. And if it was a good block, it was just barely wrong. It was at the peak. Just at the peak.
We've got 3 excellent officials in Stanley Reynolds, Bobby McCoy, and Michael Reed, and Brandon Roy. This is a very fine shooting team that is just terrible in the first half. Washington shoots 73% on the year from the free throw line, and Roy makes 1 of 2. They're also first in scoring, field goal percentage, assists, offensive rebounding, but UCLA has controlled the tempo from the opening tip of this game.
Major key. This is the leading scoring team in the country, just under 90 points a game, the Washington Huskies. So you want to try and keep this team down in the 70s, 60s if you could, but down in the 70s and throw their rhythm off. Make them have to play half-court basketball.
Lou Detman almost got the steal. Collison somehow escapes with the basketball.
And unlike last year, they had Nate Robinson, Will Conroy, Trey Simmons, 3 guys very adept at creating their own shots. They don't have that out here on the floor.
Janelle Rubin has it stripped. Ahead to Jamal Williams, an easy bucket for the Huskies, and Washington has cut that lead to 12.
It would help if they could extend their pressure, force some turnovers. Man-to-man defense, and once again, Brandon Roy, Jordan Farmar. A very interesting matchup by Lorenzo Romar.
There's that high screen. Farmar tries to sneak down the middle. Rubin, good shooter, backs up. Still 20 on the shot clock.
Jordan Farmar needs to take him off the dribble.
Ooh, who's the foul called on?
It's going to be on Bobby Jones sliding underneath after Jordan Farmar had left his feet. But I mean, yeah, nice job. Jordan Farmar gets by him, and Bobby Jones was moving into Jordan Farmar. I thought it was a good call by the official. Is he set? I thought Jordan Farmer had actually left the ground right outside the key, and then Bobby Jones got there after he had left the ground.
Jordan Farmer, a very good foul shooter. Near 65%, misses the first. Shot 80% as a freshman last year and makes 1 of 2, and the Bruin lead is 13 at the 4:39 mark.
Huskies just got to play tougher basketball at the defensive end. I mean, UCLA just far too free and easy, getting good shots. And again, they're going to have to go away from Brandon Roy and get somebody else involved.
Brockman tried for the tip, and the Williams miss. Instead, UCLA picks up the basketball. They have been doing an excellent job sealing off the Washington rebounders and claiming them themselves.
Romar might have to go to his bench at some point for scoring.
Farmer had it knocked from behind by Brandon Roy on a fine defensive play. Here's Detman the other end. Bobby Jones for 3. Short. Williams rebounded. Tapped out by Farmer.
Lorenzo Romo has Joel Smith on the bench, who's a pretty effective scorer. Ryan Appleby can knock down some shots. Mike Jensen.
Timeout on the floor. Ben Howland has done a marvelous job keeping his team not only in the race, but they are in first place by 1 game at 4-1. Well, our Pac-10 player of the week, the young man from Washington State, Josh Okoye. He beat Washington last week with 25 points and had another terrific game against UCLA on Thursday. This is a guy they need because of the injury to point guard Derek Lowe.
And all his points against UCLA in the second half of that game. But, you know, that Pac-10 player of the week was based on his performance against the Huskies in Seattle at Heck Ed. I mean, he just lit them up. They let him get loose for too many wide open looks. And, you know, he had a lot of heart down the stretch in that game to pull it out for his team.
27 points, our U.S. Bank Pac-10 Player of the Week. Bruin faithful right now enjoying a 13-point lead. And Lorenzo Romar, well, yes, he has had a tough time, but in the first half he has usually dominated the opponents. Their average score at the half is 45-31. They have outscored their opponents by 215 points in the first half, yet they've only scored 20, and they average 90 per ball game. Roy gets knocked down. We've got a timeout on the floor with 3 minutes and 59 seconds remaining in the first half. UCLA's defense rebounding has been A+. They have a 13-point edge on the Huskies. UCLA juggling those injuries around and coming away with a 13-point lead, but running out of players as Boy has a sprained knee. Well, we've got football tomorrow. Tomorrow the NFL playoffs continue when Jake Delhomme and the Carolina Panthers travel to the Windy City to battle Brian Urlacher and the Chicago Bears with a trip to the NFC Championship game on the line. Coverage begins tomorrow at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, only on Fox Sports. Brandon Roy will go to the foul line, averaging 30 points per game in conference play. And Roy in this contest has scored just 3 points.
Not a whole lot happening. That one field goal he got, that was under extreme defensive duress against Ryan Wright. Challenging that shot. I mean, every time he tries to put it on the floor, back you down like he loves to do. He's seeing a huge crowd of big bodies all around it with long arms.
Roy makes them both. It's an 11-point game here in the first half.
There's Joel Smith talked about him in terms of what he can bring offensively, but Lorenzo Romo are going to try and speed this baby up.
I like what Lorenzo's doing right now.
Got to go full court pressure. Let's see if we can make UCLA play at a faster pace than what the game plan had established.
And there are a lot of young players on the floor, and only one true great one in a Flalo. Here's Roll getting the ball inside, back out to a Flalo though. Good decision as they want to control clock.
We got 3 freshmen and Ryan Wright, a senior who hasn't played a whole lot this season, along with Aaron Aflalo.
There's Aflalo getting bounced around and the ball's knocked out of his hands. There'll be 9 seconds left in the shot clock when he gets it back.
Michael Roll has really done a nice job showing the ability to find that open guy that time. Backdoor pass to Aaron Aflalo. Joel Smith does an even better job defensively swatting it out of there. Preventing the easy two. This is their game. They want to get out and do this. They want to do this.
And John Brockman throws it down, and Washington now within 9. Great run by the Huskies, and it's by their energized defense that has really created it.
Full court pressure kind of picked up the pace of the game. Making UCLA shoot just a little bit hurried. Here they come.
This is more like the Husky style we have seen. Here's Bobby Jones, missing the 3. With Richard with the rebound, ahead to Collison, he throws it away.
That's what happens when you're playing at a faster tempo than what you have established that you want to go into this game with. And when Ben Holland wasting no time, getting the cool hands and the cool head of Jordan Farmar back on the floor.
Well, for the first time in almost a month, he'll bring back in Michael Fay, who has been out with ankle problems. He has a real strong brace on the high ankle sprain on his right leg. His last 5.
Michael Fay familiar with a lot of these guys. He grew up in Olympia, Washington, about an hour outside of Seattle.
He is out on Jensen. Roy with the turn. He had a good post-up opportunity, but misses the shot. But Jones is there for the rebound. Brockman in the right place, right time, and the freshman John Brockman contributing on the break and now on the boards.
John Brockman, a highly coveted player out of the Seattle area. This final 3 came down to Washington, Duke, and UCLA.
Washington on a 9-1 run. There's the high streak provided by Fay.
Fay-Ryan Wright tandem. We'll have to see how that works out together.
Farmer inside to Fay, but he can't handle it. And it's knocked out of bounds.
I think they need to scale it down, get a little smaller. They'll try and play the 2 bigs together. But here's Brockman right there on the follow play. Michael Fay a little slow reacting, and a lot of rust in his game at this point.
And that is 10 turnovers for UCLA, and 3 have come in their last 5 possessions.
But Ben Holland, he's going to keep the 2 bigs on the floor, but he gets another ball handler. He's got 2 point guards on the floor, so he's hoping that offsets the 2 bigs being out there at the same time.
Mike Jensen short, but the Huskies doing a better job rebounding now. A steal by Collison. Roll will be at the free throw line for 2 shots.
Nice job. Darren Collison has deceptively long arms. I mean, you get careless with the basketball anywhere in his vicinity, he is liable to get a hand on it like he did on that possession and come up with a steal.
So to the free throw line will be Michael Roll, the outstanding shooter from Aliso Niguel High School, averaged 25 points per game. Starting at the 3 spot for the injured Josh Shipp, who is gone for the year. And coming up after a halftime show, Pac-10 Hall of Honor, we'll take a look at Steve Hawes, former University of Washington player. His nephew is going to the Huskies next year. A look around the Pac-10 and a first half recap. Yeah, they've got the recruiting going, and they're bringing in Spencer Hawes from Seattle Prep, Phil Nelson, Adrian Oliver, and Quincy Pondexter. Fay takes a seat, as you're right. Ben Holland will choose to go smaller.
Just a little. Ryan Holland is back on the floor now. I think he's concerned about rebounding. There's a couple big guys in there that you hope can dominate the backboard.
Kentman misses. Hollins with the board. The Bruins have gone 5 minutes without a field goal. They one time led by 15. It's now 9. Here's Roll. 4-3.
Career high. Came in, his career high was 10 points. Now he's got 14 already in the first half. How's that for an X factor?
Leading his team.
How's that for an X factor?
Unbelievable. You were right on the money. Washington gets the tap in, and look at the three-point shooting. UCLA 7 of 13. Roll coming off his career best with 10 points in his last game. He's played about every minute.
This Washington State more of 4 for 8 from the field. Didn't get a lot of shot attempts, but just had a feeling, or I did. After we watched that defense Washington played against USC, and Gabe Pruitt has a reputation as an outstanding long-range shooter. He got a bunch of open looks.
Well, they're so concerned they moved Bobby Jones over to him. 5 in the shot clock. Here goes Farmar with the fade. Got it over Brandon Roy's defense.
got to get into it quickly.
They got 3 left. Farmar with the steal ahead to Collison.
Got time.
But he misses it at the buzzer. Still a marvelous first half by the number 11 team in the nation, the UCLA Bruins. Collison, perhaps knowing the clock was winding down, misses this layup on a great feed from Jordan Farmar.
And give Justin Dittman credit. He went up, challenged the shot. I think he may have gotten a piece of the basketball, at the least, according to Darren Collison, a piece of the wrist.
What a first half. It is halftime in LA, where the score is UCLA 40, Washington 28. Stick around for the Acura halftime show after this short timeout. Number 11 UCLA at home with a 12-point lead. They've been led by Michael Roll with 14 points. That's a career high, and he reminds me a little bit of Matt Loddick, who used to play at Stanford.
Wow.
But the luxury that Mike Montgomery had is he didn't have to play Loddick as a freshman. Howland is forced to.
Yeah, how I love Matt Loddick. He was another guy that could knock down just big clutch shots and had the deep range, and even facially kind of that mean, tough guy kind of look.
Even though he's from a wonderful part of Orange County, he plays tough basketball. UCLA opens at Farmar right, Aflalo, Rick Richard, Mbamute, and Michael Roll. Down low, it's right, and that is the 9th assist for Jordan Farmar, who's been cutting apart the Washington defense.
Dropping dimes, but also, I mean, that cutting apart that defense, that's got to be a major concern. Too many easy buckets inside for the Bruin bigs.
There's John Brockman off on the wing. It is Brockman to start the second half with Jones, Detman, Roy, and Williams.
Ball screen. And they have the luxury of switching both the 6'6" Jamal Williams and the 6'6" Brandon Roy.
They've got Aflalo wide open. Now Brockman covers up.
Don't want that.
Brockman didn't realize that. Aflalo has a wide open 3 shot, but UCLA has done a great job controlling the tempo of this game. Washington came back because all of a sudden they start ripping up some points on their transition game. Here's Farmar busting in, offensive foul, take away the basket.
With the shot clock winding down, Jordan Farmar had to make something happen. Nice job, Brandon Roy. And you can't fault Farmar. You got Brockton on him. That's what you want him to do. Try and penetrate, make something happen. Just give Roy a lot of credit for stepping in and making the defensive play.
First personal foul on Jordan Farmar. Aflalo again opens defensively in the man against Brandon Roy, the All-American candidate. Jones wide open. In and out, but a nice rebound by Justin Detman. That's where Washington has to come back. They're the top rebounding team in the conference, better than 8 per game.
This is what they have to do also. When they get double teamed down in the post, they've got to get something good. At the very least, a good shot out of that. Bobby Jones did that on that possession. Actually got 2 good shots. That three-pointer was a good shot.
Oh, tough shot by Aflalo. So strong. He had a man on his right, and he got bumped. But he is so strong on his leap to the basket, banks it home.
Not just any man. Bobby Jones, one of the best defenders in the Pac-10.
Well, here is Williams going in and cutting it to 10 again at 17:38 left. 8 points for Jamal Williams.
That's where the Huskies they're going to get back in this game. There's going to be other guys outside of Brandon Roy, at least early on, until the Bruins adjust their defense. They are not going to allow Brandon Roy to get out here and have the huge 30-point game.
Roll to Farmar, throws it away. Picking it up is Jamal Williams. Washington can creep within single digits. And a foul. And that is the second on Jordan Farmar, and he is upset. But he certainly got him across the hands with that right arm.
Now watch Aaron Aflalo just kind of spin off a contact here. Bobby Jones does a pretty decent job cutting off the middle. And there's a tremendous body control. Forget about centrifugal force. You know, Aaron Aflalo is able to balance and locate in the midst of a major spin move. That's a very difficult shot.
Farmar will come out of the game, and Darren Collison will come in. So Brandon Roy with just 7 points. He's been averaging 30 in conference play. 1 and 2 is made. And again, Farmer, you can see the way he is holding his hand. That was the hand that he cut in the first half on a drive to the basket.
Again, they're going to continue their ball pressure with Brandon Roy on the point guard, a bigger body, and give a little bit more of a cushion, you hope.
It's UCLA basketball with 16:55 left. Flalo has been held down. Aaron Flalo has 11 points, a bucket in this second half. And Jones knocks it out of bounds. There still will be 14 seconds left in the shot clock. Washington State took UCLA right down to the end before losing to the Bruins 63-61. But remember, the Bruins were outscored 24-9 to close that game. That was after losing Mata. Inside, Luke Richard with the dunk, a fine feed by Collison. What is that? 15 assists by the Bruins, and assists usually equal easy baskets.
Well, it has for the UCLA bigs tonight. I mean, again, just porous defense on the part of the Huskies. Don't let this guy get started. Jamal Williams.
A streaky player. Here's a Flalo. Long on the shot.
Too early. Too early. I mean, not a bad shot, but you can get that shot anytime you want it.
Brockman. Yes.
See, UCLA comes down with a hurried jump shot by Flalo. They don't waste a lot of time off the clock. Here comes Brockman cutting into UCLA's lead.
And I believe Howland will go back to his bench and bring on the senior Ryan Hollins when we come back. UCLA's lead has been cut to 7. Washington coming back on UCLA. Huskies only shot 36% in the first half. Marcus, they made 5 of their 6 shots in the second half.
And this is no mistake. This guy, I saw him shoot when he was going into a senior in high school at Heck Ed, and he was draining long jump shots. You know what Jamal Williams can do. But Brockman has struggled this season in Pac-10 play. His shooting percentage is down. He's down around 43%, 25% of his free throws. But, you know, you better beware because he gets his confidence going. He could be the star of the show today, much like Michael Roll has been for UCLA in the first half.
And Lorenzo Romar said his type comes around once every 10 years, a fierce competitor, great teammate, and he thinks he's going to have a terrific career in Seattle.
Yeah, he beat out Mike Krzyzewski and Duke to get him. So, you know, Coach K, you know what kind of guys he's recruiting.
Darren Collison misses the floater, and Ryan Hollins may have picked up his 3rd personal foul. He's been very active, but very active with his hands.
A little too active.
Yeah, he's played like 3 minutes and committed 3 fouls. We'll be right back as another timeout on the floor. Pac-10 College Hoops on FSN is brought to you by Chevrolet, an American revolution. We are at the house that Wooden built, John Wooden, 4639 at Pauley Pavilion, and the Wizard of Westwood here in the stands. I mean, he had 885 wins, 620 of those at UCLA. Coached the Bruins to 10 NCAA titles, including 7 straight. Turned 95 in October. But one of the great gentlemen. He's written several books, and everything he writes is about leadership and love.
And could be a headliner at the Improv. He's that funny. He is really a funny. He is funny.
I just like the fact how much he cares about people. You see him at Special Olympics dinners all the time, contributing money and his time.
And I'm sure loves the discipline shown by this Ben Howland version of UCLA basketball.
There's Collison with a big steal and lay-in, and Darren Collison got bumped at the end, and I'll tell you, Justin Denton gave him a little bit too much of a bump at the end, and Collison flew out of his shoe.
Collison talked about the long arms, gets one of those long arms into the passing lane, and right there kind of gets his feet taken from under him. The 3rd steal of the game. There we go.
Oh, yeah. Right at the end of the first half, those two were squaring off on a drive, and great defensive play by Denton. Made sure that Collison did not get the layup for a 14-point halftime lead. Here's Brockman pulling his way in, and Hollins missing the shot. Hollins rebounding, gives it to Jordan Farmar, who just checked back in.
And a terrific restraint shown by Ryan Hollins. Just get your hands up, principle of verticality, make it a difficult shot, and then the most important thing, secure the rebound against this very good offensive rebounding Washington Husky basketball team.
Here's Farmar with the 3 points, 9 assists, and yet, like you said, Marcus, at the beginning of the game, he is just a winner.
Everyone's trying to get it back to their tempo. Slow this baby down, work it around.
4 in the shot clock, 3 in the shot clock, and Collison misses the floater in the lane. Rebound by Bobby Jones. Getman thought he had Brockman, he was open, and then Hollins covered up. Jensen back in.
He wanted to just put a defensive blanket on Brandon Roy. He's averaging 30 points a game coming in to this game in Pac-10 play.
The 10th turnover by Washington. Way off their mark when they had a season-high 28 despite a win at USC on Thursday.
Had 14 at halftime in that USC game, so they're doing a much better job tonight of taking care of the basketball. But once again, I mean, the UCLA defense has put the blanket on Brandon Roy, and now this is this kind of shooting unit that Lorenzo Romar is putting on the floor that I think they're going to need in order to make some hay in this game. Mike Jensen, Ryan Appleby on the floor along with Roy and Brockman.
Farmer may get a turnover on that, but when you make a fine bounce pass like that, your postman has to seal the guy off and catch the ball first.
This postman, that would be true, but he's played with Ryan Hollins enough to know that he has difficulty handling that pass. So Boyer can handle that, Ryan Wright can handle that.
Ryan Appleby, if he gets hot, watch out.
And these are the shooters, because you know the Bruins are going to double team down in the post. You're going to get some open looks. Why not put guys on the floor who their specialty is knocking down long jump shots?
Like Farmar, it seems like every time he gets the ball, bringing it up the floor, he looks right to his coach, gets the offensive signal. Trying to get this guy open.
Delicate balance. You want to be under control and be deliberate offensively, but you don't want to pass up scoring opportunities.
Farmar chases down the loose ball in the corner. Timeout with 7 seconds left in the shot clock. Looks like a Flalo limping back to the huddle.
Shocker. But here's Brockman going to kick it out to Appleby, the Pete Maravich wannabe. Drains the long three-pointer. You see the floppy hair. The whole look is kind of Pete Maravich-like.
Well, we've got great Pac-10 hoops on Thursday and Saturday, and tomorrow ACC Sunday Night Hoops take center court when the Wake Forest Demon Deacons look to upset number 23 Maryland in a conference showdown. Coverage begins tomorrow at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, right here on FSN. And our AP Top 10, how about Villanova going into the house of the Longhorns, and the Texas Longhorns beating them 58-55. Duke by 10 over Clemson, and Georgetown losing at Connecticut 74-67. So just one minor upset, but when you're on the road, there are no upsets.
And Duke just so impressive how they just keep rolling along, undefeated. J.J. Redick having one of those kinds of special years.
Hanging around to your senior year, you wind up being a guy like Grant Hill.
Now you got to get something going. Shot clock down to 5. Butter. I told you about these Butter situations.
Rashard! How about this? What a feed by Farmar. That is his 10th assist. An incredible play. 2 seconds left in the shot clock, and he still believes he has time to make the pass.
And the backside defense leaves a lot to be desired, but here's Farmar, and to give Luke Mbamute a lot of credit because he moved without the basketball. Jamal Williams is just locked on Jordan Farmar. Luke Richard goes back door, gets the dunk. Now he told me, like, you either got to say Luke Richard or Luke Richard. You can't combine the two. None of this Luke Richard, because it's just like English and French. He got real mad at me.
I did ask him about that.
He got real mad.
The Americanized version is what he says, Luke Richard.
Yep. I was like, Luke Richard. No. You're not speaking French and English at the same time. Be consistent.
Okay, I'll go join the Pink Panther and find out how he would say it. Here is Aaron Aflalo juggling with the basketball. Washington dives on it. We have a hell ball situation. Huskies will have it inside 13 minutes to go and down by 8.
This is a huge time period for the Huskies at this stage of the game because they were right there, 6 points they'd knocked down this lead to. So they need to continue to do what they've been doing. I mean, you're using Brandon Roy Moore as a decoy. You kick it into him, You force a double team, and then you look to hit Appleby, Jensen, even Joel Smith is a guy who can extend that defense and knock down a long jump shot.
And Roy is now running the point. Here's Appleby. He hits the three.
Yeah, and that time they ran Brandon Roy on the left post like they were going to look down to him. Ran Ryan Appleby off a double screen on the right side.
Well, that's the kind of defense and now shooting that Lorenzo Romar wants to see in the second half. And they force the turnover.
Yeah, watch it. Pick action right there, Ryan. Appleby does a nice job setting his man up, Darren Collison, and that's Collison did a nice job recovering. Just a quick release, pistol Pete type jumper for Appleby.
Big time in this game. Roll comes back in. He'll defend Appleby.
Back off, Ryan Hollins. Hollins is kind of the excitable boy. He gets out there and you never know what he's going to do. He'll hack you 45 feet away from the basket.
Brandon Roy backing his way in, flipping it left. Bobby Jones
decoy
nails it from the corner. And Washington right back in this game. At one time down 15. Now they are down just 2.
Brandon Roy, the decoy. He got in the paint with no intentions of shooting the basketball. His whole purpose was to suck in the defense, hit a shooter, and Bobby Jones has improved that range on his three-point shot over the last 3 years. Mike Roll has sat a lot of minutes in the second half. Does he still have that touch?
Mamute, he hits the three, and here's a guy who came in, Marcus, just 2 for 16 from three-point range. And I think Ben Howland was saying, no, oh, beautiful shot.
But he's got a good form on that shot.
Joel Smith with the left-hand flush.
Curling and throwing it down against Ryan Hollins. Hollins got to step up, give him a chuck, give him a bump when he comes off that screen, or else you're going to let him pick up ahead of steam and get posterized like he did.
Jones stays on a follow. He's done an excellent job on a follow. Farmar being defended by Brandon Roy. Shot clock down to 14. Boy, he is such a clever ball handler.
Yeah.
Now 4 in the shot clock, 3 in the shot clock. He gets it up, and it will not fall, but there is Luke Richard in the corner. What a great save by UCLA.
He just ran it down, tipped it away from the smaller player, Appleby. Great hustle, great anticipation, important offensive securing of the rebound by Luke Richard and by Amute.
Amute this time can't get it to go, but Hollins is there, and Aflalo follows, and Ms. Long. Look at this rebounding by the Bruins against the best boarding team in the Pac-10.
That's his activity on the part of the freshman, Luke Mbamute. I mean, he started out about 20 feet right at the three-point line, got him a running start, stepped around a block-out attempt, picked up the offensive rebound and the putback.
That ties his career high with 13 points. He did that also against Sacramento State, but he also has 7 rebounds and 2 on that one possession. Jones hit his last 3. Long here. Washington gets it back.
And that's a case of UCLA having 2 players trying to run down a defensive rebound. Not a bad thing.
Oh, Jones knocks down Hollins. Offensive foul. UCLA staying in it. Still has the lead, led by Luke Richard. Mbamute. Big rebound here, but Washington staying in it with their passion, their intensity. And this throw down by Joel Smith. Beautiful young lady enjoying a 55-50 Bruin lead over the Huskies. Jordan Farmar may only have 3 points, but he has set a career high with 11 assists.
And just doing a great job setting up guys. And his teammates are making themselves available, moving out the basketball. Boy, is he just a student of the game.
He is our Chevy student of the game.
What?
Made UCLA honor roll last winter. You were on there every single semester. A psychology major, and from what I also understand, he helped USC's Nick Young prepare for his SATs.
Yeah, just put in some extra hours with Nick Young, helping him prepare their 2 friends from the San Fernando Valley, and just good to see a Renaissance man, just all around guy. Hands out soup
he's
at
a
the
point
soup,
guard.
gives soup out at the soup kitchen, clothes to the homeless, and just everything. Just man, he's just got. Jordan
you said he's a winner.
Yep.
Only 3 points, and his team has 5 more than the Huskies, but the Huskies known for their spurts, their energy spurts, where they can rip off an 18-2 run. Right now, Washington shooting very well in the second half. They were down by 15 at one point in the first half, and now they're only down by 5. Roll tied up corner, and he traveled with the ball. So that will be turnover number 15 by UCLA.
Yeah, they're hip to Mike Roll at this point.
Second half points off turnovers, Washington 12, UCLA just 2, and that's a big reason why Washington has come back.
And they're giving Roll no room on the outside. He's going to have to put it on the floor and make something happen. That's what you would hope if you're Lorenzo Romar, the way this kid shot in the first half. Brockman, I love him. Brockman doing it inside.
He has cut the lead to 3 points, and 12 points now for John Brockman.
Really finding himself in this game. He struggled during the Pac-10 season to shoot the ball, to score the ball, although he's always done a nice job rebounding. Oh.
Michael Roll.
Whoa.
Oh, man!
Okay.
Can you believe this kid?
I see you. He's like, okay, well, you're going to guard me within 20 feet. Well, I'll step outside of 20 feet.
Michael Roll, your boat is shore, and he has been hitting home from three-point range.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, says Ben Allen.
Oh, boy, now Derek Collison, I mean, Jordan Farmar set to check in. Maybe for Collison, maybe not. But he's got to do a good job of
Roll thought that Aflalo was going to cut to the basket. Instead, he went to the wing, and that is a turnover for the Bruins with a 6-point lead.
How deep is your love? Oh, about 26 feet deep. Wet jumper of Michael Roll, and then just bullying your way inside. Bull in a China shop. John Brockman inside, up and through Ryan Wright's interior defense.
A career high 17 for Michael Roll. Here's Joel Smith bouncing a low Brockman. He works on Ryan Wright. Tough shot, misses. And there's Luke Richard Mute with his 10th rebound. A double-double for Luke Richard. 13 and 10 down low. It's Wright. He catches.
Nice hands.
Oh, he doesn't get the roll, though. And Brockman is there for the pull.
I love Brockman's mental.
Great pass by Appleby. Oh, and Brockman can't finish, though. But Appleby going up for the 3. Misplayed it. Here's Jones. Yes!
Oh, these guys are going at it. Bodies flying all over the place. Seeing a lot of great hustle inside. Terrific defense, great passes.
And this is the kind of energy that Romar wanted to see first half that he did not see. And all of a sudden, his Washington team, if they can give him a full 40, there are a few teams that can play with them.
And the remarkable thing, they're doing it without Brandon Roy being on the floor.
Farmar trying to break down Jones. Gives it up. Aflalo. Misses from the corner. Appleby rebounded. Huskies want to run. Jones left side. Fumbles with it. Tie up. UCLA basketball.
On the alternating possession, ball awarded to the Bruins.
Bobby Jones leads the second half surge with his great rebounding and his activity going baseline. He has made it. Bruins 58, Washington 54. Our Dodge game summary, UCLA holding a 4-point lead. They led by as many as 15 in the first half. Roll with a career best 17. Farmar career high 11 assists. And Brandon Roy, after averaging 30 in Pac-10 games, and that's 4 games, he has scored just 8 points. Remarkable defense by UCLA on that man who will be a first-round NBA pick.
But now he's still the kind of player, if you don't keep your focus defensively and keep your double teams aggressive, you know, he can give you a 10-point spurt here the last 7 minutes. So UCLA's got to stay on top of him.
It's been a brilliant game. The guy with the basketball, Jordan Farmar, has only scored 3 points. He's another guy who always seems to get his points at clutch times, and here he goes. Kicking it off to Aflalo. Washington's defense on that pair has been terrific in the game. And here's Aflalo up and in. That's strength. That is pure strength.
Strength and Elgin Bader-like body control as he avoids the offensive foul. Brandon Roy was trying to pick up and still was able to get it back up there and then over the rim.
Appleby off the dribble. He's more of a catch and shoot guy, Marcus. Brandon Roy, though, is a rebound and do everything kind of guy.
Chameleon or chameleon. But Aaron Aflalo, right? Watch this beautiful body control. You know, that double pump action, scissor kick leg flail thing. He's so good at doing that and not running over people and picking up the offensive foul.
Farmar being defended by just about everybody. Changes from Roy to Williams on the switch.
Trying to get Aaron Aflalo a look, working off of Ryan Hollins.
And a pass. Wright did not come out far enough for Jordan Farmar's pass, and all of a sudden it's a 4-point game. It could be 2 or 1 with a 2 or 3 point play by Washington.
Ryan Wright and Jamal Williams actually got tangled up out there, but I guess the officials felt like it was incidental contact. But Ryan Wright is like incidental contact. It's like minor surgery. It's always minor to the guy, everybody else but the guy that's having it.
Collison in the game, they're running screens for Appleby, and now Farmar on the switch moves over. Appleby with great range.
Jamal Williams got a good matchup for him. He's going to get the freshman inside. He's real tricky down in the post.
And he is right there with the right hand hook and cuts the lead to 2 at 60-58. Washington.
It's a good matchup for the Huskies. You need to double team Jamal Williams if you're UCLA, just like you showed Brandon Roy that kind of respect down in the post.
Lalo has been held to just 13 points in this game. 2 field goals second half. We are at the 5-minute mark.
Brewers don't want to get stifled here.
Step back. Misses the shot. Rebounding Jones.
I think Collison needs to put more pressure on Appleby. He can rip Appleby with those long arms, the quick anticipation. We saw Ryan Appleby against Arizona commit turnover after turnover.
Boy, they are really working the youngsters right now inside, and Jones with another pull on the boards on the offensive side, and the foul will go against Luke Richard Mbamute.
They can smell it. The Huskies can. And watch Jamal Williams. Just great usage of the left shoulder. Now, Swin Nader really worked with him in high school. Swin Nader was coached by the same coach that coached Jamal in high school. Swin had him as a coach at Cypress Junior College. Spent a lot of time with Jamal on just those types of post-up moves. So Bruin fans, you can thank Swin Nader for the development of Jamal Williams. Write him a nice letter.
Michael Roll comes back in. Jordan Farmar will get a quick break as Ben Howland wants him well rested.
We want Farmar well rested, and I like this move. Put Roll back in the game. Give him a chance to be the hero and to continue that torrid shooting that he showed most of the first half, a couple of times here in the second half.
We've got a 1-point game with 4.5 minutes to go. What a comeback by Washington at one time, down 15.
Michael Roll has shown he's deserved to be on the floor in crunch time in this game.
Aflalo taking Jones, backs his way. He was doubled quickly as soon as he drove to the hoop.
And this is the guy that might need to make a play, Luke Mbamute, because they're going to put a lot of attention on Aflalo and Roll.
Collison chases down the deep rebound. From behind is Roy, and that's a personal foul on Brandon. His first.
The foul is on Brandon Roy. His first personal.
I'm looking at this defensive alignment for Washington. It's all about trying to go at the weak links, and Jamal Williams against Luke Mbamute. I mean, Jamal didn't, he's not really as committed to defense as you'd like for him to be at times. A lot of times.
Collison trying to break down his opponent. There was a much taller 6'8" Mike Jensen who backed up on defense.
And this is a good matchup for Collison here against the bigger Jensen.
Mbamute on the drive. No. Jensen rebounds. And Washington with a chance to take the lead with 3.5 minutes to go.
But you saw how easy Mbamute was able to beat him. I mean, everybody else is commanding such defensive attention. This is where Jamal Williams feels good. This is his home, down at the offensive end.
Roll grabs the loose basketball ahead to Collinson. He has Wright on the right side. Collison faking his man up, missing the shot. Jensen boards. Huskies with another chance to take the lead. Appleby wide open right side. Throws low. Williams. And the Huskies take the lead with 3:08 left in this game.
You gotta love the way the Huskies, if you're a Husky fan, done a great job of just kind of chipping away at this big lead of UCLA's at halftime to get themselves with the lead, a position to win this basketball game. Nice feed from Ryan Appleby, a little defensive miscommunication. You do not allow Jamal Williams to be there all by his lonesome down on that right box.
A 7-0 Washington run. And coming up next for most of our regions, Pac-10 Hoops continues on FSN when number 24 Arizona and Hassan Adams takes on Oregon. And Aaron Brooks' coverage begins right here after our game for most of you. Check your local listings. A score by half. Washington again down by 12 at the break, 40-28. They have outscored UCLA by 13. But really, you check the numbers, UCLA wanted the points in the 60s to even 70s. If it got up in the 80s, Ben Howland probably knew he didn't have a chance against this high-powered offense.
Yes, they did, but Washington doing a good job in a couple of areas of realizing that Brandon Roy was not going to be the man tonight. They found some other men to step up and do some damage. John Brockman has had a terrific game. Jamal Williams starting to heat up. Bobby Jones was scoreless at halftime, has made a contribution.
Well, you see the timeout situation, and also UCLA with only 4 fouls and Washington just 2, so Washington has a lot of fouls to give in the last 3 minutes of this game.
And it wouldn't surprise me if Ben Howland used that final timeout long before people would expect him to.
Jordan Farmar back in, and all of a sudden the weary Bruins, they have been limited to just really 6 players in this game because of another injury to Alfred Aboya's right knee. Appleby got it.
Yeah, there's the shooters. Get your shooters on the floor. Draw the defensive double team because Jamal Williams is such a potent force down there in the post.
UCLA will go with their motion offense. Farmar has been really limited. They have missed their last 5 shots, and Jordan not shooting well, just 3 points in the game.
Got to get some Collison penetration against Brandon Roy. I mean, it's too much of a struggle to score offensively, and that's the area where you got some speed and an advantage.
Collison, what a move to the hoop, flips it up with the right hand, and UCLA back within 2.
Got to get more of that. I mean, you got to understand where your advantage is if you're UCLA. Brandon Roy is good at defensive player, good at athlete as he is. He cannot stay with Darren Collison.
Timeout, Washington. It comes with 1:57 on the clock. Huskies have played remarkable basketball in the second half, and the Bruins might be running out of gas.
Yeah, well, you know, when you play, that Aboya injury really hurt them in terms of their rotation. And nice job, though, Ryan Appleby, let him catch and shoot, get a good look at the bucket, and he's knocking that one down. We saw him put on an outstanding display against Arizona up in Seattle first half.
Well, UCLA had to withstand a furious 24-9 run to end the game by Washington State to survive on Thursday. Aflalo missed, and it was Kyle Weaver who could have easily tied the game on this drive, but missed.
Oh, Kyle.
At the buzzer.
Oh, Kyle. You know, he's probably still kicking himself for that. I mean, that was just a blown opportunity to tie that game up, send it into overtime possibly.
63-61, UCLA trying to run the record to 5-1 and control first place in the Pac-10 Conference. They have been winning the close ones. I mean, 10-1 the last 2 years, and this is with a lot of freshmen and sophomores. Their only loss, 76-73 at Arizona last year when Salim Stoudemire hit one from about 30 feet out to win it.
And speaking of that Washington State game, I mean, UCLA had a 17-point lead. About 5 minutes left in that game with 4 freshmen on the floor: Mbamute, Darren Collison, Mike Roll, Ryan Wright to go along with Aaron Aflalo. And you know, you got to be willing to take your lumps with your freshmen. You have no other choice if you're UCLA to play these guys long minutes because of this injury situation we've talked about the entire game.
Jordan Farmar has been brilliant as a floor general in this game with a career-high 11 assists, but he is only 1 of 5 from 3-point range. And there is Aaron Aflalo, who had 9 points at halftime, just 4 in the second half. Their defense designed to stop those 2 guys, and Aflalo has had Bobby Jones on his hip the entire afternoon.
Bobby Jones, one of the better defenders in the entire country, definitely in the Pac-10. He's done a nice job just kind of keeping Aaron Aflalo in front of him, bothering his shot with his long arms.
Well, Marcus, I want to revisit your Pontiac keys to the game as you've been juggling your keys throughout the season as you drive your Pontiac home.
But perimeter D, ball screens, Washington is doing a much better job of that in the second half. Mike Rowe got free in that first half and burned him. They've decently taken care of the basketball. Psyche, forget about that. UCLA, they've come out and played like everybody's injury-free. There's been no factor at all. Their half-court defense, though, is left a little to be desired here in the second half, mainly because they've been forced to double-team Jamal Williams, Brandon Roy, and Lorenzo Romar has adjusted by putting his shooters on the floor who have burned the Bruins.
1:57 left, 22 on the shot clock. Farmar on Appleby. A steal by Farmar, but knocked back into the hands of Bobby Jones. Still 12 left on the shot clock.
This is when Farmar has that little thing inside of him that just kind of clicks on, and he has the ability to make the big plays. He's going to need to do that for his team to pull this one out.
And a shot clock violation against Washington. They took so much time. Yep. Lorenzo Romar saying, let's get it done on the defensive end of the floor. 1:34 remaining. Washington 64. UCLA 62. The Bruins have won 19 straight at Pauley over the Huskies. Washington has not won at Pauley Pavilion since 1986-87. 19 straight losses. Our game reset. If there's a hell ball, the Huskies will have it. You see the timeouts. Washington has 2 left. The Bruins have 1 more. And the team fouls. Again, that's a key because Washington has a lot of fouls to give before it's a bonus situation. But this young man, Jordan Farmar, when the Bruins were down at Arizona State, twice made 2 brilliant plays to tie the game and win the game after Aaron Aflalo had gone down hard after making a shot and injuring his hip.
Just something clicked. I mean, first hit the little floater going to his left, like Lute Olson said he couldn't do. And then took it all the way coast to coast, made a layup in traffic, going to his left.
Jordan Farmar with the dribble. Williams now over on him. We have a whistle and a foul called on Ryan Appleby, but remember they have several fouls to give. That is just their 3rd team foul. Still, it will give them a 35-second clock. And Lorenzo Romar, he takes his timeout, which gives him 1 left in the game. UCLA has 1 left in the game. I think Lorenzo liked the fact that Jordan Farmar saw Williams shift over him defensively.
I was going to point that out. Thanks for beating me to it. But no,
it's a race.
I was going to say, I mean, if that whatever play that was they ran, if they can get that matchup again, get Jamal Williams defending Jordan Farmar, got to go for it.
Let's go back to ASU last week when they were down in Tempe.
Well, this is why you want to get Jamal Williams guarding Jordan Farmar, because he is able to get to the basket in clutch situations. You see that 3.6 on the clock. Kevin Kruger going to throw up the desperation heave. That's not even close, but the play before that for the Bruins, Jordan Farmar pulled up for a little floater going to his left and scored for the Bruins. So, I mean, he's got that inner deal going on, those guts to take and make those types of plays at the end of basketball games.
That was 1 week ago, and he will inbound, and he inbounds to the freshman Mbao Mute.
Pepperdine here last year with a penetrating spin bank shot.
I asked Ben Howland after that game, I said, what'd you call? And I said, Farmer, take him. And he broke his man down and scored the win against Pepperdine.
Good defense by Washington. They're switching everything on the baseline between Jones and Williams. No clean looks.
Personal foul will be called against Brandon Roy or against Appleby. I think it's Appleby. Appleby away from the basketball, and that's just the 4th team foul. They'll get a new 35-second clock.
Yeah, but that you wanted them. I think Lorenzo Romar to play out that possession. You had shot clock winding down. Jordan Farmar in position to try to create something one-on-one against Brandon Roy.
Washington ties up Aflalo and forces it, but a turnover on a travel by John Brockman will give it back to the Bruins. Lorenzo saying, oh, we almost had him by the throats. Instead, UCLA with another turn, another 35-second shot clock.
His first 3 opponents for Washington averaged 80 points a game, but today's defense by the Huskies, particularly in the second half, has been outstanding.
There's the high screen. Farmer tries to take his man. He will miss the shot, and there's the freshman. He was being pinned from the backside by Appleby, and that will be, I believe, the 5th team foul, so they still need 2 more to get 1 plus the penalty, and it was not on the shot.
Good foul by Ryan Appleby. You wonder why sometimes it's not intentional. He's just grabbing on and holding for dear life. And I got to believe it was indeed intentional, but you're not going to get that call at this stage of the game.
UCLA.
Well, coming up next for most of our regions, Pac-10 Hoops continues on FSN when 24th ranked Arizona. They've got Jawan McClellan back in the game, and they take on Oregon and Malik Hairston. Coverage begins right after our game for most of you. Just check your local listings to make sure you're going to see that. And the Pac-10 right now owned by UCLA, but if they lose, we will have a 5-way tie for first place in the Pac-10, and it could be 6th if Washington State upsets USC.
How many teams can you have with 2 losses? Not too many more. We could have another one with UCLA in the next minute, but yeah, this thing is log jammed here early on. Makes for an exciting season. Every game a big game. Every game an important game.
44.6 seconds remain. UCLA down by 2. The Bruins won for their last 7. And Lorenzo Romar wants to make sure his team defensively is on the same page. Meantime, UCLA they're almost out of players. They lost Lorenzo Mata perhaps for the year, at least 6 to 8 weeks with a broken tibia, excuse me. And they have lost today Alfred Aboya with a right knee sprain.
Tibia, fibula, tomato. No, a tough blow for Lorenzo because they could have used him today. Aboya also, he was active, energetic. He already had a couple of knee surgeries, one on each knee. You hope that his is just a temporary situation.
Again, it will be Roy on Farmar, and it will be Jones on a Flalo.
You got to go for that first good look. Great man-to-man defense. They did a great job denying the inbound pass. I thought maybe Joe Smith could even have trapped Michael in that corner.
It's like they're trying to get a Flalo open. Here he goes. He's got Jensen on him. He'll take the 3 and miss it. And grabbing the rebound, John Brockman. Roy sends it down to Jensen. Farmar fouls Mike Jensen.
Got to. I mean, Mike Jensen, he's a guy that was been hurt a lot of this season. Good shooter. You're gonna make him knock some down from the free throw line, but that's a good look. I mean, you got Jensen giving him a cushion. Aaron Aflalo is also a big time game winning type clutch performer.
Aaron Aflalo has been held down because of the great defense by Washington. At times it has been Bobby Jones. At others it has been Mike Jensen or Jamal Williams, but they have done an excellent job holding down Aaron, who has been averaging close to 19 points per game to just 13. And in the second half, Aflalo has only made 2 of his 7 shots.
It's a team effort, much like UCLA and the job they've done on Brandon Roy. I mean, a lot of defensive attention placed on Aaron Aflalo, and the key for them defensively, Steve, they were able to switch Jamal Williams, Brandon Roy, and Bobby Jones, any kind of screen action between the 3 of them, and prevent Aaron from catching the basketball in areas he likes to catch and shoot from.
And this is the first meeting when both teams were ranked since '83, when UCLA at that time was 7th and Washington 18th. Well, UCLA trying to beat Washington for the 20th straight time at Pauley Pavilion. In the history of Washington-UCLA rivalry, the Huskies are 2-40 at Pauley.
This is great for West Coast basketball to have these 2 teams on a serious upswing.
And that is the 6th team foul. They need 1 more to send Washington to the line for 1 plus the penalty. So important seconds ticking off. So I'm sure there will be a quick foul again.
And good free throw shooters on the floor for Lorenzo Romar. Ryan Appleby, Joe Smith.
Even Mike Jensen, who on the year is just 2 for 5, but in his career is a 61% foul shooter, and he's a senior.
Yeah, and that 61%, I mean, he's a much better shooter in terms of technique, form, the ability to knock down medium-range jump shots than that 61% represents. He's the guy that didn't get to the free throw line much because he shoots so many perimeter shots.
He misses. Brockman was there. Jones fighting for it. And how about the Washington rebounding in this second half? Van Halen had Jensen taking the miss, and they could not seal their opponents off. And watch Brockman come in.
Brockman comes in, but Bobby Jones did a great job of curling around the block-out attempt of Uwvideo and Mike Rowe. It was Brockman that kept it alive. Bobby Jones' smarts and guiles, the senior, to put himself in a position to get the deflection off the glass.
So Bobby Jones, a 76% foul shooter at the line. And he calmly drains the first to make it still a one-possession game. He wants to make one more to make it a two-possession game for UCLA to come back. Jones, the senior out of Compton, California, went to nearby Long Beach Poly High School.
You know Bobby, his family, Bobby Sr., they're all loving this. Bobby a chance to do some damage here at UCLA.
Watch. Oh, man. Joel Smith just hammered Aaron Aflalo, so Aflalo will get a chance for two shots.
And you stop the clock.
Yes.
And Joel Smith just tries to get into the path of Aaron Aflalo, who was trying to veer to his right. Recalled by the official, but not the smartest play by Joel Smith.
Oh, that was the sixth. I thought that was the 17th foul, so I beg your pardon.
Oh, great play by Joel Smith.
Yeah.
Way to go, Joel. Uh-oh. And again, that tough man-to-man defense on the inbounds play. Jordan Farmar trying to bounce it off the leg of Brendan Roy. Almost lost the basketball. Pulling it. He's pulling it.
And he nails the three. It's a one-point game.
Now Washington's got to get the basketball in under duress.
And a foul will send Bobby Jones back to the free throw line. But the key here is after hitting the three, even if Jones makes two, UCLA can still tie it with a three.
Yes, he can. And I talked about the clutch shooting of Aaron Aflalo. He's hit some big shots already in his young career. Here's another. Kind of rattled that baby home. It wasn't clean, but he's not throwing it back. Get Mike Jensen trying to defend on the perimeter, a little bit out of his comfort zone defensively.
Hey, if Jones misses, those freshmen down in the box have to remember to seal off. Brockman was a man against him. A 10-11 game for Bobby Jones.
And Ben Holland putting Darren Collison in the game for Mike Rowe. Get a little bit quicker on the perimeter. Going to apply some more pressure out top. Maybe get a turnover. We obviously need a foul in this situation. Another ball handler on the floor for the Bruins. If they do score, then they can apply that pressure.
He misses. Aflalo has it. Ahead to Farmar. A foul is called, and it is going against UCLA. The 20th turnover as the transition defense. Washington got back and set themselves so well.
Yeah, I think the coach is pointing at different referees, like they're going to get a call change or not. But here is Luke Uwvideo. I mean, not a good decision to give the ball to Luke Richard in that situation. Full speed. You had Darren Collison on the left wing. I thought maybe that would have been the guy to go to.
3.8 seconds left for Washington to end a 19-game losing streak at Pauley Pavilion.
And I go home run. I'm throwing it down the floor. Mike Jensen right now is in position.
And they do. And Jensen will throw it down for a Washington victory.
And that was the obvious kind of opening in that denial defense.
The nightmare is over for the Huskies at Pauley Pavilion. The last time they found success here, 1986-87, but Lorenzo Romar on the road, right back in it, and there's a five-way tie for first place in the Pac-10. That's it from LA, where the final score, Washington 69, UCLA 65. Make sure to stay tuned for more Pac-10 hoops as Arizona takes on Oregon. That's coming up next for most of you. For Marcus Johnson, I'm Steve Physiak saying so long, everyone. Thanks for watching Pac-10 Hoops on FSN.